Yes. And continuing with the line of thrillers, we have Brian before he became a freaking perverted creep singer. We have The Usual Suspects. Gripping and diabolically clever, says the Wall Street Journal. Winner of two 1995 Academy Awards, including original screenplay, this masterful atmospheric noir enraptured audiences with its complex and riveting storyline, gritty tour de force performances, including an uh, Oscar-winning turn by Kevin Spacey, and a climax is truly deserving of the word stunning. A $91 million cocaine heist, a devastating boat explosion, two survivors. U.S. Customs expert agent David Kuyan, Chaz Palminteri, is determined to find out who's behind the melee, as he pieces the clues together with the help of a half-charred Hungarian gangster, that's a phrase. An outspoken crippled con man from New York, Kuyan soon finds out this story actually begins with 5 criminal minds and one infamous mastermind. An irresistible ensemble, says Newsletter. Oh, I did not know what the heck to expect. Outside of who is Kaiser Soze? I'm thinking, alright, so what's going on here? Well, when these 5 are against the backdrop of the hike, and like the investigation and trying to find out who it is, they start to determine, so who could it be? Well, what's the boat explosion? What's going on? It's all the riveting pieces that come together, and a truly, like they said, a complex storyline where you just look at it. Where I was just watching it, I'm like, okay, so we have a person that's in shadow in the trench coat and the hat and everything else. I'm like, okay, so they have the noir part, right? I'm like, what exactly are they going to do with the noir part here? Well, here's what I noticed. One is keeping the guy in shadow of wondering who it is. It's played brilliantly by some guy named Peter Scott. But anyway, 2, when they show the shipyard itself that supposedly contains a $91 million of cocaine. It's shot at night. We get a nice shot of the ship and a view from atop a lighthouse or a shot like this. It shows up like another noir. Scenes where there are plenty of shadows. There are plenty of shadows in here, as in to show the influence from Night in the City, Notorious, The Maltese Falcon, all that stuff. This was neo-noir, so of course they had to update it at the time, while still retaining the motifs of the crime and who done it, some people thinking that they're the mastermind. There's this one guy named Dean Keaton thinking, okay, so he's obviously the one who's doing it. Is he the one that's Kaiser or no? And then, of course, there's some other people who are part of this group as well, including Benicio del Toro. I'm trying to remember some other people. I'm like, yeah, they make this ensembles. They're trying to deal with, pull off this heist. I mean, we get like a heist before where they're like this team, and I'm like, okay. So, we get to see them sitting in kind of like the, I want to say a holding cell, I guess a holding room, you could say, in the police station, where we get to hear them talk and they start to put together some stuff. I'm like, okay, that's actually pretty cool. So we get to I don't want to say diverse personalities, but we know what makes each person tick, if you will. One's the kind of leader, one's got a little bit, who's willing to do stuff, but still has some hesitation. So, of course, and then we have the going back and forth, non-linear storytelling. Yeah, that's it. As we start to wonder, who is this person? And so, over 106 minutes, it's told brilliantly, of just who are they? It's like, they give rumors, they obviously say like he's the story, he's the devil or whatever. Well, there's this poor Hungarian guy. He's speaking in Hungarian, of course. No, he's speaking in Swedish. And it says that there's the devil Kaiser Soze, the one who works in the shadows. He's either there and then he's gone. So they had a lot of mystery and intrigue. So the poor guy is burned on 60% of his body. Yikes. So then even the heroes, just to add more credence to him, they say that he exists. And it's like, they all inadvertently had either stolen property or done something to him. I said, your debt will be repaid if you can manage to steal the cocaine. It turns out that they're not there for coke. They're there to eliminate a person who can identify / witness who Soze is, which I found to be a great way how to lead and everything. I'm like, dang, So as you're looking at this, as I'm watching this movie, I'm thinking, yo, and like everything just leads up sequentially, including having an attorney or Japanese attorney who works for Soze, and gives a good way of dealing with things. It's like there's just all that tense scene going on. There's even a part, this guy named Redbone with some like yellow hair or whatever, describes everything going on. So it's like there's a lot of stuff going on. It's like the stakes increase and we're finding out more about like the myth and legend and everything. And all the meanwhile, we have an attorney talking to Spacey's character, and this is where things get interesting. It's like we're able to find out the milk toast person. I thought that's what he was at first. Saying that he was a part of a barbershop quartet of all things, and he had like a brother or a wife or whatever. But then, spoiler alert, at the very end, it's discovered that that Kaiser Soze is Verbal Hick, whatever his name was, the milk toast man. He was able to manipulate everyone because one, he had a limp from what was that, multiple sclerosis or something like that. I'm trying to remember. Two, he was part of the action, so no one would be able to say like, oh, poor not stuttering, but poor milk toast man here. It did take me by surprise when I saw it, and I'm like, geez. And obviously this phrase right here led to it being shown in popular culture, including describing Osama bin Laden as the Kaiser Soze, like they can't find him, or whatever it was, and, just kind of entered the lexicon, which I've never really heard of until I saw this movie, and I'm like, such good stuff. A lot of good stuff that was written here, and it just felt so great. This is like what some people call the classic 1990 American thriller or mystery, and I'm like, yes. Although I will admit, some people may find it a little difficult or confusing to watch. I mean, I can understand that because there is a lot that goes on. And of course, there's the violence and everything else. But, I think honestly, if you could probably just look past it and just be like, oh yeah, that was a freaking wild ride right there. Holy cow. But yeah, it's definitely a very entertaining movie, with all that being said. It looks like it'd be a little bit of a comedy. I mean, there's some humor here and there, but yeah, the usual suspects, freaking great movie.